Ryan, congrats on today's win. This is actually looking ahead a little bit, but there's been some talk from other coaches about the postseason and the Rose Bowl and the ability to have wanting families at that postseason event or bowl game like the Rose Bowl. What are your thoughts on that, and what would you like to see happen?
Yeah, I haven't. I honestly have not even thought about that yet. I mean, every ounce of my energy has been focused on this game. It was a really hard week for a lot of reasons. Losing Chris Olave and Baron Browning and Drew Chrisman and some major contributors in all three phases. It was tough, and then we lose Jackson, and it was stress, and we knew this was not going to be easy. This is not a team that gives you anything, and so all of our energy has been focused towards that. I did see the comments that were made. I also agree that I think families need to be there. These guys have been away from their families for a long time. Now, the logistics and all that, I have not put any energy into thinking through that, so it's easy for me to say. But I'll, after enjoy this a little bit, try to go through that and try to put more thought behind it.
All right, we'll go next to Bill Landis from The Athletic. Bill?
Hey, Ryan. It seemed like you were pretty intent on trying to throw the ball for really the first three quarters of the game, even though it seemed like Northwestern was pretty intent on not letting you do that and take shots down the field. Just when did you come around to sticking with the run? Why do you think it took so long maybe to get to that point?
Yeah, we were always going to be aggressive. That's just the way we are. And, just didn't execute great. I think we'll probably look back and have a lot to coach off of, to fix. But the run game started to go, and the front run for over 300-plus yards. We wanted to kind of throw on them early, wear them down a little bit, and then run it a little bit in the second half. And that's kind of what played out. Now, it wasn't clean. Certainly didn't execute the way we wanted to. But, at the same time, at the end of the week, we're losing guys that we've been practicing. We had 10 days of practice with certain guys in certain spots, and then we had to move people around. It wasn't clean, and not making excuses, just what it was. That's what this whole season's been. I mean, this game was a microcosm of what these kids have been through this season. They've been through adversity. They've been through a lot. And I just think that this team is gritty. They're tough. They pull for each other. There's been games where the offense has played really good. Defense just been okay. And now this game's kind of, vice versa a little bit. And I got to tell you what, this is one of my favorite teams I've ever been around. And maybe not because, of what's gone on all the time on the field, but more importantly, that just this team is so tough. They've been through so much, and they just don't flinch. And I cannot give this team enough credit. And I'll say this. If we had to play one game against anybody in the country, I'll take the Ohio State Buckeyes.
All righty, we'll go next to Tim May from Leonard Monroe. Tim?
Hey, thanks, Mike. Ryan, just in a nutshell, Trey Sermon, he looked like that back everybody talked about a long time ago. I mean, when the holes were there, he flashed through them. When the holes weren't there, he bounced outside or made moves. Just what was your view of all of that, and just talk to me about the game he had?
He ran hard, like you said. The offensive line played unbelievable. The tight ends played really hard. They're the guys that get lost in the mix too. A lot, these tight ends. I mean, they block their tails off. But he ran. I mean, he ran with a different look in his eye. And sometimes when you come off of an injury, it takes a little while to get into a rhythm. And then Master went down, and he kind of just stepped up in a big way. And I'm really happy for him that this is another guy who overcame adversity. There was a time probably after week 2 or week 3, we really weren't sure, what's going on. Just maybe not hitting the hole right, didn't have a lot of confidence, and we didn't know Trey. So we weren't sure exactly what we had there. And then to see him persevere again through all that, to play the way he did in this game and break records like that, that's tremendous against a really good run-stopping defense.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
All righty, next up, Jared Smalley. Jared?
Ryan, I know this might be hard to answer at this point, but the 21-day rule in the Big Ten, obviously that's going to affect you as you move forward, potentially to January 1. What information do you have on that? And how many of the players who sat out today because of a positive test or tracing, how many of them might be affected by that?
A few. We kind of have a little bit of each. It's a mixed bag. I know they're looking at it right now. I don't know exactly where that's at in terms of, coming out with more information on that, but I know it's being looked at very hard.
All righty, next up, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, can you kind of go into more detail with Chris Olave, just what it's like to tell someone like that they're not gonna be able to play in a game like this, and then just also what his absence meant for the team.
It was significant. I mean, this is a guy who's just been unbelievable for us in big games. And then, a few days before the game, you don't have him. You kind of go into scramble mode, and then you have to move guys around. I thought Julian, though, stepped up and played a lot of reps for us. He played gunner. He made some nice catches early. So he did a good job stepping up and playing for him. But, when you have a rhythm with somebody, certainly, Justin and he had a really good feel for each other. That was significant. But it's not any kind of excuse. I thought Julian played well. Garrett made some really nice catches. He played well. I thought the catch he made there in the fourth quarter, that catch where he got his foot in bounds, that was a huge catch. I think Garrett really took a step forward this week in leadership with that group, and I'm really proud of those guys. And I told them it's never easy to win a championship. It just isn't. That's not the way life works, and certainly not in 2020.
All righty, next up, we'll go to Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, Brian, how concerned are you about Justin's thumb and how it might affect him down the road, and also about Master Teague's status?
Yeah, I think it looked to me, in just talking to him quickly, like it was just a sprain. So I think hopefully he'll recover pretty quickly from that. But we'll have to see. I don't know much about it. Master, was out of the game. We'll have to just kind of see what the doctors are saying about him right now. Over the next couple of days, and then we'll try to get you an update.
All right, we got time for just a couple more with Coach Day. We'll go to Dan Hope from 11 Warriors. Dan?
Ryan, with Justin dealing with that injury and as well as Trey played, do you regret it all not committing to a run earlier?
No. It's like the same thing saying, like, did you go for it on fourth down? I mean, we're always going to be aggressive. That's just the way we are, and we just have to execute better. We got to coach better. We got to execute better. But against this team, you have to get them on their heels a little bit. If you don't do that and loosen them up, it's a long day running. Not too many people run the ball against Northwestern, and the only way to do that is to go after them and be aggressive. And we didn't hit those shots, but what we did is we backed them up, we loosened them up, and then I felt like we were able to run the ball and control the ball in the second half. But the defense really did a great job getting us the ball back, and they played really, really well in the second half. So the run game and the defense was excellent. I thought special teams was solid. We just didn't do as good a job in the pass game. But hey, listen. That's kind of how it goes. They got a really good team too.
All right, we'll wrap up Coach Day with Doug Limmer. Doug Limmer, he's Cleveland.com.
Ryan, as you said, it did feel like this game was kind of a microcosm of the season in a lot of ways. You know that every time you step on the field, everything you do, you're being evaluated by the people who make the decision that matters. Is it a little hard to evaluate you guys? Chris Olave's not playing, Baron Browning's not playing, you're trailing at halftime, but then you come back and win. How would you describe anybody trying to evaluate you guys right now based on today and your whole season?
I'm glad you asked the question, Doug. I'm just going to take a few minutes. What this team has been through, every conference is different because of the way things have gone this year. Everyone's experienced different things. What this team has gone through, I've said it all over and over, but I don't know if anybody really truly listens. They started off and had 2 spring practices, then they go in quarantine, they go away for a long time. They come into preseason camp, and then they find out that the season's been pushed back. Then a few days later, they find out the season's been canceled. Then for a month, they don't have a target. They have nothing to work for a month of this, up until September, whatever that was, September 19th. And they decided, no, we want to play. We want to play safely. And they fought. And they went public. And they spoke up. And then on October 23rd, we played our first game. And the virus, everyone in the North goes inside. And the virus spiked. And because of that, we had to deal with players being out of games. We had to deal with cancellation of games. We had a hard time getting into a rhythm on all 3 phases. And then we get into this game here. And it's, things maybe aren't clicking as good as they usually do, and we find a way to fight back in the second half. And in a world where it's all about wins and losses, this team has learned so much this season, which is like the reason why we even started playing college football in the first place. It's the reason why we play and we started coaching, was to see the growth of young men like this. And all I'm going to say is this. People can say whatever they want. They have their opinions. I'm not going to talk about other teams because I think we have enough to talk about positively about our program. But I'll say this. if we have an opportunity to play anybody in the country in one game, I'm going to take the Ohio State Buckeyes. I feel strongly about this team. We're made of unbelievable character, and they've been through so much. And I think there's a lot of people in the country that would agree with me.
All right, Austin, I think you just had one clarifying question.
Yeah, Ryan, with Justin Stump, that didn't look like it happened until late. Is that right? It was a
Yeah, I don't know exactly when it happened, but yeah, you're right. It wasn't something that happened in the first quarter or something like that.
okay.
Probably,
And the one guy who doesn't seem to be getting a lot of attention for what he did is Justin Hilliard today.
oh my God, how about the interception he had in the one-on-one? I mean, he played his tail off. Yeah, I mean, there's because of the game and because of all the things that people are going to want to talk about. There's a lot of things that happened today that people need to, really respect the fact that we won a Big Ten championship. And this is like Proctor's interception, like you said, Justin Hilliard, some of the punts. How about Zach Hoover stepping up? I mean, he never punted before in a game. I think that was like the first time he's ever punted. He did a great job. Julian Fleming stepping up in a big way. Dallas Gant having to play in a big way. I mean, there was a lot of guys that stepped up to win this game, and it doesn't just happen. And I'm really proud of this team.
All right, Coach Dave.